Rich, what going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Sedale? Let me know if you're hearing me clearly and everything.
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Good, good. You might have to just tilt your phone up a little bit because Instagram. There you go. Yeah, yeah. Now
There
we
we
can
go.
see you nice and clear.
What going on,
Cool.
brother?
Everything good, man. How are you doing? How have you been coping during this time in the lockdown and stuff like that?
Boy, it's been challenging, but I think now I kind of catching myself again. At first, it was difficult being creative with all what was going on, and eventually I kind of had to shake myself out of the funk and get back to creating again. And then it was particularly devastating that we missed out on a whole carnival season. And St. Lucia Carnival was poised to be like one of the best carnivals for this year. So, next year we had to bring that energy and hopefully, the COVID give us a little relief.
Absolutely, man. I know that challenge of creativity is echoing across, the entire Caribbean right now. Everybody who is an artist in entertainment right now, we really, really feeling the brunt of it. But it's good to hear
Right.
that, you found your creative energy. You're getting back into that flow again. Really, really letting the music take you to a whole other place.
Hmm.
Niceness. So for those of you who don't know, I would want to say this is Sedale, one of the biggest and baddest Lucian artists that I know of. Sedale, can you take us back to the beginning, right? Because I know we know you a lot for your mean tunes. I've been listening to Sedale now since like 2015 now. I know you've been
Okay.
making music since before then, 2007 and on, right?
Yeah.
So take us back to the beginning. What was your first experience? What music? What led you to come and to create soca music?
Okay, so at first I was a DJ. I was part of a sound called Infrared Sounds. You might know Infrared, he plays in New York. That's Kevin, all right? But Infrared actually started in St. Lucia. It was a group of us that went to secondary school together. And eventually all of us migrated to New York. We were DJing. Eventually I decided I wanted to create music rather than just play music. So then I was introduced to Sean Mastermind Noel. He produced my first two tracks. That was in 2007. That was my first two recordings. Put it out. It did decent in St. Lucia, and I was just grinding ever since. It was a challenge, and eventually I got my big break in about 2014 with the song Pandemonium, and that song changed my life because I was at the point where I was thinking about giving up music. Because imagine this, eh? Imagine this. I on stage, I'm performing. This time I'm like a part-time artist. I wasn't full-time. I was going to school, working and thing. But I used to perform and I on stage and I'm like, put up your hand, put up your hand. And nobody putting nothing up. So I went through that for a few years where I just wasn't connecting with the people. And in St. Lucia, we're a tough crowd. So you have to kind of go through the motions. People have to get accustomed to you, and you have to continue delivering music of a good quality. And again, like I said, in 2014, it was at Euphoria. It was Teddyson John's show. Now, Teddy has a big, big show. Everybody always looks forward to it. And I remember one time I was in a barber shop and he came up to me and he's like, "Yo, I want you to perform at Euphoria." And of course, I'm excited, but I'm still expecting to go on stage and just get a lackluster response. I was backstage with Wildfire and Barry Hype was the one introducing us. And he says, "Wildfire from New York." I heard people screaming and they say Sedale and people screaming. But it still didn't really connect yet because I'm used to just not getting a favorable response from the crowd for years now. And I just figured maybe something happened on stage that people were cheering for, maybe a giveaway or something. I don't know. Brother, when I touched that stage, the whole building lifted up. The whole, like, so much so it was like a surreal kind of experience for me. 'Cause I'm singing and people are cheering me on, and in my mind I didn't really understand what was going on, And there's actually video of that performance on YouTube. And you could see like I'm just a little bit confused because I hadn't experienced that love yet. And after we were done, we shared along the place. That night changed my life. I walk in through the crowd and everybody's like, yo, good performance, good performance. People recognizing me in the stores, in the street. So it was a really good feeling. And that's where things really started picking up for me as an artist.
Wow, man, that's an amazing, amazing story. Like, look at it. We got people in the chat saying, Nick saying, yo, I was at that show
Yeah,
getting on rails. Think.
Nick know about that. Nick know about that.
Absolutely. I want to big up everybody in the chat real quick. Jail, big up yourself. I see
Jel,
LC
big up, big up.
Belafonte. Everybody in the chat right now listening to Sedale right now, hearing the story of the come up and everything. Yo, let us know. Were you all at that show? Do you all love Pandemonium? Let us know. So yes, it is. So Pandemonium, that was a tune with you and Wildfire. I saw
Right.
I saw the fan video on YouTube, but I gotta say that is a mean tune. Like
Yeah.
every time I hear that song, it's like a whole other spirit hits me, right? Like what was the process like making that tune? What was like, the studio session like? What was the energy like? How did the whole concept and creativity come into the picture?
So here's the funny thing about that song. I got the beat and I never really liked it. We were actually, myself and Wildfire, working on another song, and we were already demoing that song and everything. And then for some reason, Fire was like, yo, let me work on this tune. And I went to check him. He was humming the hook to me. At first, it was a rum done gone to me cranium. And I'm like, yo, let me not make it just a rum song. Let me make it a song about something that is a little more widespread. We went into the studio, and let me tell you, that's the most magical studio session I've ever had. It was magical. We write in the song, and as we write in the song, we just record in parts. And next thing you know, maybe 2, 3 hours later, we sitting back and we're like, yo, that is a bad song, right? So this is in New York, and we recorded that song in Mount Vernon. Big up DJ Cali B. It was at his studio. And we on the train going back to Brooklyn, and we just listening to the song over and over. And I knew this song was special when I went to I went home to Brooklyn, and I let my American friends listen to it. Now that is fellas that not into no soca, is hardcore hip hop they listening to. And I let them listen to it, and they're like, yo son, that song fire, bro. So when they said that, I'm like, okay. We released the song, we put it out, and then it just took off. It took off. And I think I could safely say it's been 6 years since the song has been released. I could safely say it's a Lucian classic. And when I perform it, it's just like I'm performing it for the first time. I still get the vibes and thing. So, that song, I always tell people that song changed my life.
That's incredible, man. Yeah, I love hearing stories like that, especially to hear the energies that was going on and to know that you were there and just boom from the beginning, you just had that feeling like, yeah, this tune right here, this gonna be a hit. Not only gonna be a hit, but it's a classic for time
Right.
to come. And I think that's really important, right? Because I feel like music is never really made just to die, right? It's always meant to live on in some shape or form, and I think that's what artists want in all their music. So amazing, amazing. Again, big up to everybody in the chat right now. We have
Yeah,
people in
man.
here
Big up
saying,
Army Guy.
yes, Army Guy, stick on you, one of my favorite tracks. Yes, I feel you on that.
Big
Yes.
up Ajay. That's my cousin, Mel_Aston. That's my little cousin.
Nice. Big up yourself. I see a lot of people in here right now, man. They loving "Stick on You," man. "Stick on You" will be my wedding song. Sedale, you got to give us a little bit info on that. Let the fans know what was your story with "Stuck on You," and also, by the way, everybody in the chat, you should see a little question box icon next to the comment bar. You can also ask Sedale some questions there as well.
Yeah,
I'll be more
I
than
wanna
happy to
answer
bring
some
it up.
questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So "Stick on You." What's the story behind
Yeah.
that?
Oh, big up Anna too. I see her in the chat. Stick on You. That song I always say came from God directly to me. So usually there's this beach in St. Lucia that I go to write my music. I usually go maybe like 1, 2 in the morning and just vibes out by myself on the beach. And I remember when I was playing the instrumental, I usually freestyle. I don't really sit down and write. I freestyle. I played the instrumental and I just freestyle the whole song. I literally, and usually when I freestyle, some parts may be good and some parts maybe, they need work. I freestyle the whole song, like top to bottom, whole song. So when I did that, I recorded it on my phone. I took it to the studio the next day. We did a demo of the song and then we started building the song from there. And I worked with two young musicians, Rashad Joseph, who plays the sax, and I worked with Dwight Florent. Dwight is actually a band member of Morgan Heritage. He plays in the band now. And that's before all of that. So I kind of took a chance on them because at that point, people didn't really know them yet. But a friend of mine was telling me like, yo, you need to work with them men. Them men really good. So I did that. And, the rest is history, like they said. We did the visuals. I think the visuals is what really sold the song. The visuals were done by Logo, and Logo has been one of the premier videographers in the Caribbean scene.
Yes,
And
absolutely. Big up yourself, Logo.
yeah, big up Logo. When I played the song for Logo, so here's the thing about Logo. You play the song for Logo, Logo sit down, and he comes up with the whole treatment for the video, whole concept. And he says, okay, this is where we're going to shoot this and that. And one of the places we shot was in the Castries market. Now, this is a Saturday morning. The market is busy, crazy busy. And we were shooting a scene there, but you have people walking in front of the camera. You have people who are just inquisitive. They want to see what's going on. So it was pretty hard controlling the crowd because you needed the crowd to get the vibe, but you needed to control the crowd. And we just spontaneously went there. So it's not like we could tell people, yo, stop, and people on their business.
Yeah.
And I was getting like frustrated, and Logo's like, yo, nah, we had to finish the scene right here. And we stuck it out, did that scene. Another scene we had to do twice. There's a scene where we're on a boat going out on the water. And if you know me, I can't swim. And I real scared of the ocean there. I scared. So me being on a little boat, going out to shoot scenes in the water was a challenge for me. So we did that, shot the scenes on the water. And when we got back to the shore, we looking over the footage and we realized they didn't put a setting on the drone properly, so the footage came out weird. Brother, I now had to go back on this boat a week later. So I had to kind of psych myself up again to go on the boat, go back on the water, shoot them scenes all over again, and then put the video out. But everything worked out well in the end, and I believe that probably is one of my best music videos.
Absolutely, yeah. I love Logo's work, man. Like, as myself as a visual artist, like I've been following him for years, and it's amazing to see how his stuff is always on point, stuck on music videos. Also, one of my favorites as well. It's really funny you say that you have like a fear of boats because one of your other songs that's one of my favorites, Boat Ride.
Boat Ride.
I was like, yo, I figured if Sedale making one of my favorite songs about a boat ride, this man must love boats, boat ride pets, and everything.
Papa, let me tell you, I only started going to boat rides maybe 3 to 4 years ago. Yeah. And before that, I was very scared of boat rides. I don't like the whole idea of just being out in the middle of the ocean, people drunk and thing. But I got used to it a little more. And also, I have a boat ride that I host in St. Lucia as well. So people always tell me, how are you afraid of boat rides and you have a big boat ride in St. Lucia?
That's hilarious, man. Yeah, honestly, like, I'm really surprised to hear that, but I don't know. I look at it this way. I guess these songs and you choose making you conquer this fear now.
Yeah. And I have to give you and Jel love for showing that tune love. Because
anytime, brother, anytime.
When nobody was playing it, the two of y'all take that and you're yo, this is the tune, that tune bad. And I always respect that because sometimes people have to other people play it before they play it.
Yeah.
And then you all just roll with it.
Nah, absolutely. Anytime, bro. It's still one of my favorite tunes. I'm gonna see. I see we have a a question here from LC Belafonte. Let me bring it up for you.
Okay, that is my bridging.
Ah, nice, nice. Elements of your music taps into dancehall, jazz, and reggae. Do you want to be known as a soca artist? Or let me see if there's any more to the question. Do you want to
Yeah,
be known as a soca artist, or is that too restrictive?
that's a very, very good question. And I've been having these types of discussions with other artists. I was having that discussion with Shemi J actually.
Big up Shemi.
Yeah, big up Shemi, always. I think this is what I think. I feel like I could express myself musically in a multitude of ways. Sometimes the expression that I want to convey is best done through soca music. Other times it might be a different genre. Now, I understand why people would classify me as a soca artist because that's what I mainly do. However, I do feel like I can do other genres, and that's something I'm going to be showcasing a little more moving forward, especially now that I feel like we don't have a carnival. We didn't have a carnival this year, so we had to kind of switch it up a bit. So if I have to say long term, I think I more want to be. I want people to know that I'm a soca artist and I could do that very well. But I want people to look at me as an artiste.
Right.
Like I could do a multitude of things. I have songs that are influenced by different genres. I've done dancehall songs. I have a reggae track coming out. Even Celebrate, which we're gonna talk about.
Yes.
I think Celebrate. Shemi and I were having a conversation about Celebrate, and we're like, "Yo, Celebrate is an R&B song in a sense. You feel me? It's just that because I'm a soca artist and my style of singing on it, you wouldn't really think R&B right away. Now, obviously, it has elements of soca and even Afro in it, but it has that kind of groove, and even the subject matter of the song, it's something that you would hear in an R&B song. We celebrate in love. You understand? So I feel like I'm versatile enough to do that kind of thing as an artist, and I want to show people that even more. I'm working on an EP and I'm working on an album, and when these projects come out, I want people to see and have an open mind. I feel that's the other thing.
Right.
People need to have an open mind and understand that hey, these guys aren't just soca artists, because a lot of the artists I interact with, a lot of them could do different types of music. But a lot of them also are a bit reluctant because they don't feel like it would be well received because everybody's so used to them singing just soca. But I think you have to kind of you have to get over that fear and just put it out and let the music do its thing.
No, absolutely. That's really well said, man. And yeah, that's always a question I always have, and I love to hear every artist's response on. The question of, does soca really let you as an artist express yourself fully, right? And I know people have expectations of what soca should or should not sound like, right?
Right, right,
And I know that's slowly changing.
right.
Artists and young artists especially are really pushing the boundaries of what soca is, and it's almost at a point where you can't really define what a soca is anymore,
Yeah.
right? Like that line is getting more and more
crazy?
great.
You know what's crazy, Rich? I released a song called Brock It Up a couple of years ago. There's a censored version and there's an uncensored version. The uncensored version actually have me using the F word, eh?
Yeah.
And I remember when I released that song, I saw some comments on YouTube and somebody said, yo, you're bringing that American hip-hop thing in our soca, ting. So I was like, what? That's what the person thinking. Like, I was just trying to do something different, right? Fast forward years later, I think Cool have a song with the F word in it.
Yeah.
Lil Rick, I don't give a ass or whatever he did.
Yeah.
I start see Vaughn just released one on the Big Mood Rhythm. No F's to give. You understand? So now I start seeing artists doing it more. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it was just the wrong place and time for me.
Right. Yes.
So but now it's getting a little more accepted by the masses.
Absolutely, and I think there's a number of tunes out there, and so many artists can relate to that, where you release a tune that is sometimes before its time, right?
Right,
and
right.
that doesn't mean that it's quote unquote a bad song or it's not this or it's not that. It's just, are the masses ready to accept it?
Ready, right.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I think now more than ever, we're really at a time in soca where you can push the boundaries of it. Yes, you're still going to get that pushback. Yes, you're still going to get, well, boy, what is this? This doesn't
Boys,
sound like
nice that
this.
one,
Yeah,
bye.
you know what I mean? Like, you're still gonna get that. But I think now more than ever, you're at a time where you can really celebrate your creativity, right? So with
Yeah,
that being said,
I
let
see
me
what
go
you did
right
there.
into it. With that being said, tell us all about it, brother. I listened to it a number of times. I
Hmm.
really, really like it. Tell us about the tune, Celebrates. Written by yourself and Shemi, correct?
Well, Shemi actually brought the idea to me. He was the one
Nice.
who we work a lot. We work on a number of tunes together throughout the years, and every so often he would come to me like, "Yo, Goon," that's what we call each other, Goon. So Goon, I have a song there. I feel that sounding like you, and he played it for me, and I said, "Yo, I like it. It's a little different from what I normally do, but I like it. Let me put it down." And we went ahead, did that, and we were in the process of shooting a video with logo for it. And then the whole pandemic hit, so we put a pause on that. And I was actually gonna hold a song back until next year. And he was like, "Yo, just put this song out, do a nice little lyric video, put it out." And we did that, and so far the song is getting a good response from everyone. And I feel like, again, it's just me showing a different side of me. The song is, of course, talking about love, which we do need in today's world. And I feel like it's a song like my brethren Amiga say stick on you how to play at his wedding. I feel like a song like that could play at a wedding too. You understand?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's vibes, man. So what was the inspiration for creating this type of tune, right? Because it's like yes, you say it's kind of an R&B tune, or it has that element. You know, a lot of times right now, we still have people making fet type music. What was the
Right.
inspiration behind this to go for more of that sensual relationship type vibe?
Right. Well, I think love is something that is easily related to anybody can relate to love. So I think that that's the direction, and I think it's a song that's very relatable, especially for women. And they say already, Rich, you gotta sing for the girl them. You understand? So that's the direction we were going, and I feel like a lot of these types of songs are needed. We could do the fet thing, but now we ain't really fetting as much. So it's time to release music that coincides with what's going on in the world today.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and again, I think, like you said, you're using a genre of music that you really love to really express yourself, right? Because at the end of
Hmm.
the day, you are an artist, right? And I feel like everything that any artist creates, whether it be visual or vocal or writing, like everything is about expression, right? Can you
Right.
express yourself as an artist? So when I hear that tune, I really, really feel that vibe and everything on it. What was the studio vibe like? What was the production like and stuff?
Well, it was produced by a young producer in St. Lucia called Jay Swain.
Nice.
He also produced Pretty on Purpose for Shemi and Starter Fire as well. So he's
Main
been,
tunes.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
So he's been doing his thing for a little while, and I hit him up to do the production on this song. He had the beat done in like 15 minutes. He had that done already. And then we went by Ransom to record it. He also mixed and mastered the song. And that's why I do most of my recording by Ransom. And Ransom again is another producer engineer who is doing a lot of good work in St. Lucia. I see Gel asking, is there Beanie Man sample in there? Gel, yes there is. Don't tell Beanie Man that though.
Leave it to Gel to pick up on that,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
No, that's vibes, man. That's incredible, incredible, incredible. Um, Streaming on all platforms, just on YouTube
Yes,
right now,
yes.
streaming on
It's
everything.
it's on everything. YouTube, Tidal, it's on TikTok as well,
Nice,
Apple Music, every major streaming platform is there. So
nice,
y'all
nice,
go
nice.
and stream that. don't go and rip this song off of YouTube. Army guy, don't rip this song off of YouTube. Stream this song. Give your partner 0.006 cents per stream. Yeah, man.
Absolutely, man. No, it's good to hear that because that's a conversation I think is really important to have about marketing right now, right? How are artists marketing their music? For you, what are your thoughts on like utilizing like all these streaming platforms, right? Because I know some artists are reluctant. Some will be like, well, Dan, all my listeners just go on YouTube or Julian's
Right.
promo. I don't
Right.
want to go and look into all them things and complicate. But then other artists are like, yo, let me use everything. What are your thoughts and how have your findings been on that?
Well, I think the more available the song is, the better for the artist. A lot of people, especially people based in the US, they as soon as the song comes out, the first thing they ask you, yo, it's on Spotify, on Apple Music. And when you tell them no, it's like, why not there? Because I feel like the culture of listening to music in the Caribbean versus the US is different.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. In the Caribbean, we will go on YouTube, maybe SoundCloud, or even expect an email of the song in your inbox. Whereas in the States, people tend to use the streaming platforms more often. So we have to ensure that we are reaching everybody. Now, one of the challenges we've had is emailing the songs to people and then wanting them to go stream it because they already have it for free. So it's hard to get them to stream it sometimes because they already have it for free. And the reason people do give out the songs for free is because, of course, they want as many people to have the song.
Right.
Yeah, but sometimes we have to, strike a balance. What I try to do, I try to email only DJs
Yeah.
the song. So I try to send the email to only DJs and then make it available to everybody on YouTube, SoundCloud, and whatnot. And then, of course, on my Instagram as well.
Awesome. Yeah. And I think that's a really, really smart move because it gives you the option to monetize on things,
Right.
And as well as that, you kind of meet the best of both worlds where like, everybody is consuming content more than ever on their phones. So people have the tune on all types of platforms, but then the DJs will be the ones to really let it run in a fete or anything or something like that. Put it on a live stream, in the case of the situation we're in right now, But that's cool, man. I'm glad to hear your take on that because that's something that I think is really important now more than ever. So I check in the comments. Want to big up everybody again. Army guy, big up yourself. Jealous, always Mel, everybody right now. I see people also talking about Neighbor. I know that is a super, super popular tune. Came out back in 2015? 15, yeah. I remember because 15 was my first time ever visiting Trinidad, ever. And I remember being there and like, obviously I wasn't into the Marshall tunes and Cash tunes and stuff like that. But I remember seeing and listening to Neighbor and this song just being stuck in my head for the whole trip. This was before I was into soca, anything like that. So I was like, Sedale, I didn't know, only to know 5 years later I'll be right here talking to you about the same tune. So tell me about everything about that tune, bro. Take us back to the thought process.
Right.
Because people love that tune. People love the hooks. It's such an infectious tune. Like, tell us all about it.
So that song, I always say the idea just came from God straight into my brain. I was in New York. I literally was at my computer. I stood up to go towards the door, and the hook just hit me. I there with me neighbor, just hit me. Right? I still wasn't convinced it was a strong enough song. I went to St. Lucia. We were in the studio. I was by Vibes Productions, bigger Vibes Productions. We're in the studio, just vibes in, a bunch of us. And I start singing the hook. And everybody just stop and look at me like, yo, that bad. And I'm like, what? That bad? They're like, yeah, that bad. Let me work on that. Let me develop the idea. And we sat, it was like a group of us, maybe like 3-4 of us, just vibing the instrumental. And then we came up with the song. I recorded it. And the interesting thing about that song and that time frame, this is the year after Pandemonium. So I don't want to be considered a one-hit wonder, right? So the pressure is on me now to deliver another good song. Neighbor comes out. I liked the song, but if you have to ask me why I rate it, amongst my other songs, I don't know if I'd have rated that high. But I remember I put that song out on Facebook, and the amount of shares that got in such a short space of time, people were like loving the song. And I was shocked. I was like genuinely shocked that people liked it so much. And the song went on to be one of the most popular songs for that carnival season. And what did it help do for me as an artist? I think now it said, okay, Sedale has arrived as, one of the artists to look out for in St. Lucia. And I was happy about that because I think one of the things you don't want to be labeled is a one-hit wonder. You understand? And I went all the way to Soca Monarch with that one, and I came second. I lost by like 4 points.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that one itself is another interesting story
Yeah.
because in 2015, I also started my own show, Transcend, right? Transcend was the day before Soca Monarch. It being my first time doing a concert, I wasn't sure about how, to go about doing that. So we ran into a lot of challenges, and my focus was solely on ensuring that Transcend was a good show. We brought down Lyrical and International Steven for that show. And, there's so many moving parts in having a concert. So we wanted to ensure that the show was done properly and of a high standard. But what happened is my Soca Monarch preparation suffered. So I'm done with Transcend. I'm tired. I mash up. If anybody know about doing events, you know how events could be grueling.
Yep.
So I mash up. And then everybody's like, yo, you have Soca Monarch later tonight, right? I'm like, oh, snap. Let me go home, sleep, and try and, get prepared. When I get home, I realize I promised 2 promoters I would pass through their breakfast fetes. So I couldn't sleep. So I hopped to one breakfast fete. My voice is done by this time because I performing whole weekend and preparing for the event. So my voice done. To the point where my manager at the time was like, yo, when you go on stage, don't even actually sing. Just lip sync the whole thing. And if I see you singing, I'm pulling you off the stage. And he literally went in front of the stage and just watching me. Just say, hey, if I was actually singing. So we do these 2 fetes. Then now, I got something to eat. I had to shoot my intro video for Monarch. Went to do that with my friends. By this time, it's like 5 in the afternoon. Soca Monarch starting at 7 o'clock. I thought I was going to have time to go home to sleep. That didn't happen. My dancers don't know the routine. I'm backstage. I have no voice. When I say I have no voice, I could not even speak. My voice was gone. So everybody's backstage and they're frantic because they're like, yo, if he can talk, how is he going to sing? So everybody's backstage worried. Yo, my cousin's there. My cousin's crying. They're like, oh, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. You're going to come last. Because I really just couldn't talk. I had no voice. Then Wildfire was on to pull me on the side. He's like, bro, don't study all the madness. When you get on that stage and the adrenaline kicks in, you go sing, right? I get on the stage. The adrenaline, it did kick in. I was singing. I wasn't sounding good, but I was singing. And, I did my thing. And when it was all said and done, a lot of people thought I had won that night. Like after I was done performing, I walking around the stadium and everybody's like, yo, you win. But it might be close between you and Alpha, but I think you win. So I'm like, okay, maybe I win. So we waiting for the results. In 3rd place. Da-da-da-da-da. In 2nd place. So now everybody know whoever comes second. If I come second, Alpha wins. If Alpha comes second, then I win. In 2nd place, I dare with me neighbor. Yo, the stadium just go vex. The stadium go vex like, what? And I walked up on the stage, take my trophy and thing, congratulated Alpha, and I thought Alpha deserved to win because he was better prepared. I wasn't prepared. So I can't come and say like, yo, nah, I should have win, I should have win. Nah, I know I didn't give it my all because I was distracted with Transcend. And we always have these discussions, my team and I, they're like, yo, you know you give away a Monarch there. And I'm like, boy, I guess so. But for me, when I think of my longevity and my legacy as an artist, I rather have a long-standing show that is mine rather than be a Soca Monarch winner. That doesn't mean I don't want to win a Monarch. I do. But I feel like it was more important to my career to ensure that my show got off the ground and it got off the ground in a good way and people look forward to it. And so said, so done. The show now is one of the staple events for Carnival, and we have it the Tuesday before Carnival. So, foreigners coming in, people liking it. And then from Transcend, we went to do the boat ride, JOB. So for me, it was about opening and exploring another element, another aspect of being an artist. And now I'm being a promoter. You understand? So I'm happy I made that move. And so far, it's been going good.
Wow, man. Yo, Sedale, you were just full of incredibly amazing stories, brother. Wow. Like, that is an experience unlike no other. DJ Can't Sing, big up yourself, saying wildfire advice, be the best.
Yeah, big up. DJ Can't Sing.
Everybody else in here, yeah, Army guys saying God really taking care of you for all the tunes you're getting straight from God. No, brother, that's incredible, and I know I'd like to hear your take on that, especially Transcend versus Soca Monarch, right? And I think that's something that a lot of young artists, especially, are juggling or are thinking about right now, like the validation that you get from yourself and from your own show versus validation from like a competition, right?
Right.
And I think we're seeing that trend a lot more now, where you see a lot of artists working hard to build their fan base, build their following,
Right.
really give the most to their fans, and throw an event, their own events where they can cater specifically to that, right? Where I think in the past it was really much more, I gotta compete, I gotta win, I gotta compete, and a little bit more competition based in the Monarch and stuff like
Right.
that. So
Right. You correct.
that's incredible, man. That's incredible to hear. Many hit songs, Neighbor is one. I know you have another great song as well with Pretty, right? So
Right.
can you tell us about that one as well?
Okay, I have two songs with Pretty.
Yeah.
So you want to know about both of them?
Yes.
All right. So the first one was Land I Love.
Land I Love, yeah.
And that one, I end up meeting up. Let me tell you how I meet Pretty, first of all.
Okay.
I met Pretty at Miami Carnival at Shine. It was Rise and Shine, yeah. I was performing. I came off stage, and he came up to me. You know, like when a fan come up to an artist. My boss come up to me like, yo, I really like that song, Dan. I ain't know it's you that singing that, my boy. Innit?" I'm like, yeah, brother. I know about you too. Ding. You know, we chop it up or whatnot. He had an event in Miami, I think on a Monday. We went to the event and we just connected. And he's like, yo, we had to work. Now, artists always say that. Artists meet each other anywhere. Yeah, boy, we had to do a song together. It never happens. But we kept in contact. And then he came to New York and he was like, yo, I have some demos there. He played a bunch of them. Then I heard the Land I Love one. I said, dog, that is the song. Let's work on that one. And I think he went to Trinidad, came back to New York. We recorded the song. We released the song for St. Lucia Carnivals, I think that was 2016, and 16 or 17. And the song started picking up. And we're like, yo, let me do a video for the song. This is after Carnival, eh? So Carnival done, we're like, yo, let me do a video. Of course, link up logo. Pretty came to St. Lucia. I think that was his first time. Yeah, it was his first time in St. Lucia. We shot the video. That video was fun to shoot. It was fun. I think that's like the most fun I've had on a video
Amazing.
set. Yeah. And the thing about Pretty is full of energy.
Yeah,
And
plenty.
He's a big joker. Like he's always talking nonsense. So we always laughing and kicks in and thing. And just for me, just being able to work with an artist like him, I think that was a big move for me. And when we put the song out, saying Lucia loved it, Trinidad loved it, and we were like, yo, a year passed, we're like, yo, we had to do another one. So he he was telling me about a producer in Trinidad called Twin Island.
An
And
island, yeah.
Twin Island had the rhythm, and he's like, yo, we had to jump on this. So I'm like, you have any ideas for it? Yo, this man just sit on his phone, freestyling different concepts and just sending me voice notes. So we going through the voice notes, myself and Wildfire, and again we have to choose which one we like the most. I'm like, yo, this is the one. Boom, put the song together, record my part, put the song together, and then again we're like, yo, we have to put the visual out there. The song took another life of its own when we put the video out. And Logo has for that video in particular, Logo was like, yo, I don't want this to look like a soca video. I want this to look like a hip hop kind of video. That's a vibe I want from you. And we did that, put it out. It was well received. Again, I still feel like to this day, that song is one of the songs that, especially the girls love that song. They love it. And we supposed to be working on some other stuff to put out.
Nice.
Yeah. And I see just saying that Pretty's adopted Lucian, and that is definitely true. To the point where he started coming to St. Lucia for Carnival all the time. And not only the people embraced him, but you have other artists, you have other people in the industry, embracing him. So much so that he even did a song dedicated to St. Lucia called
Yeah.
Peter Mountains.
Peter Mountains, yeah.
Yeah. So I like to say that I just bring man Lucia and get them their Lucian passport. So first was Wildfire, now it's Pretty. So pretty good in Lucia.
That's incredible, man. Yeah, I love hearing that story about that collaboration, and it's good to hear that we might have some more stuff to expect as well. I think I saw a question here. I'm gonna bring it up because it has to do with collab from Mel. Mel asks, if you could collab with any American artist, who would it be?
Who would it be? All right, so I'm a big J. Cole fan.
Nice.
Like, if I could do a song with J. Cole, I good. Good. I and I'm a big hip hop fan, right? So when it comes to hip hop and who I think is excelling in it, Cole comes to mind. I'll even go a step further now as far as Caribbean artists who I want to work with. Problem Child, big Problem Child fan, and I've been following Problem for years before people know Problem. Let me test you. You know this Problem song with Skinny Fabulous called "Bring Drinks"?
That was one of the long time ago.
Time
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, long time ago.
Yeah. That's when I feel like I really started listening to both of them. I'm a big Skinny fan, big Problem fan.
Yeah.
And I remember when he sang that song, I was like, yo, them man, who's them men? And I started following their careers. I ended up meeting Skinny. Me and Skinny actually have a song together. That is a song from long ago. I even like how I sound on that song. I was just kind of coming into my own voice. But me and him had a song, and Skinny is like one of my idols in the business. And I had Skinny in the studio with me, and I just watching that man like, dog, that is Skinny Fabulous in the studio doing a song with me. So he's a man too, I always just hail up when I see him. Problem for me, this is what I love about the Problem story. And I always tell him how happy I am that he is getting all the ratings right now. I felt like there was a point in time where people were doubting him, right? People used to overlook him. And he never gave up. Just keep putting out tunes, putting out tunes. Eventually, it got to the point where now he's writing the biggest tunes and he's singing the biggest tunes. And now he's revered as one of the premier artists. And every time, like, it could just be a snap he puts up of him performing somewhere. And I tell him, dog, I will just DM him, dog, you don't even know how happy I am for you, dog. I just love seeing that. One time we were on a show together in New York, Labor Day weekend, It was one of Ninja Fet events, and he was there. I was like, "Your problem? I could get a picture with you." And he's like, "Yo, why you talking to me like he's a fan?" Like, and he hit my partner, and he's like, "Yo, why your boy? Why is he still asking for a picture? Like, yeah, know me." And I'm like, "Dog, it's just the amount of respect and admiration I have for him that I just had to come correct. You
Yeah.
understand? So he's another artist I definitely want to work with. I love Nyla. I love Nyla. Love Nyla. I feel like Nyla is like the biggest thing to me. I love her creativity. I love it. Um Grenada, Slatter. That is my boy.
Slata boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Slatter is my boy. We have a song together as well, and we've been talking about doing something else. That is my boy. Um Grenada has such great artists. I actually have a song with Dash and Muddy.
Oh, nice, nice, nice.
And that song sitting on there for like it has to be 2 or 3 years. That song, a real bad song.
Yeah.
Sitting on there and I don't even know why we put it out yet. But yeah, that's if they remember that song. But Dash, bad. When Dash was in the studio with us and he was singing like right in front of us and freestyling, I'm like, dog, who is this man? Bad. Terra Kid, another brethren of mine, would love to do a song with Terra. And he's another artist too who actually met Terra in New York. And we're in studio together and thing, vibes in and thing. And when I see Terra get that big tune now, I'm like, boy, I real happy for Terra. Because that is man I see, hustling
Grinding, yeah.
and the grinding
Working.
and thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I try to think of who else, boy. There's so many artists that, I would love to work with. Barbados Lil Rick, I'm a big Lil Rick fan. Rick, people like Lil Rick got me into soca music. Alison Hines as well got me into soca music. And Alison and Edwin Yearwood. When I was young, there was a event in New York called Bijan Soca Splash, I believe. I was young, and I somehow made my way backstage. And I in the room I was in the room with Edwin Yearwood. And the boss look at me and the boss tell me, yeah, come, drink something. The man I know him from nowhere. And he was just so pleasant. When I met Alison Hines, so pleasant. So me liking their music and loving their music and meeting them and they were so pleasant. I'm like, yo, like for me, I'm a fan for life. And she probably don't even know me. Edwin probably don't know me either. But them little interactions stuck with me for a long time. So I always give kudos to her. A lot of people always ask me, how is it that a female soca artist inspired you to sing soca? And I'm like, it's not even about gender. To me, it's just what she put out. And I think she's a legend.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Edwin and Alison, Rick, of course you have Marshall Bungie. I feel they are legends, but I feel like Rick, Alison, and Edwin sometimes we don't give them the flowers while they're alive. You understand? And I look at them as legends. These people have put soca on the map for years.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so many people can say, yo, they've listening to Allison since growing up. Sometimes they listen into a soca song over and over. They don't even know it was Allison, but it's a tune they know from since small. So, yeah, definitely big up to Allison Hines. She's a queen in the industry for sure. That is incredible, brother. We have about 5-6 minutes. I do have a little bit more info. How are you doing on time? In case we get cut off, do you have time to come back on?
Yeah. We there. We vibes in my G.
Absolutely. Awesome, man. One of the things I want to get into real quick is the Dennery segment, right? So I know you had a tune on the Fuego rhythm in the band. I was actually just telling Gel before the interview, I was like, yo, when this rhythm dropped, I know everybody loves shots and everything, but yo, Indie Band was actually my favorite tune on the rhythm. I can't say why. To me, is like, because it's like a raw sounding rhythm and you have a voice that's full of so much bass and it's such a unique voice. Like I could hear Sedale voice and just know, yo, that is Sedale. It's a very unique voice to bring. And I don't know, something about the harmony of it, they really go together. Can you tell us a little bit about your thoughts on Dennery segment, right? Is it something that you see yourself doing like a lot of? It is something that you just kind of enjoy listening to, but you rather push or get on a different type of sound? Things like that. Like, where do you kind of see it going? Like, what's your take on Dennery segment in general?
Right. I think Dennery segment is our sound, the Saint Lucian
Yeah.
sound. That when you hear it, you know, okay, that is Saint Lucia. Wait, how much time we have left, Rich? Because you know I
We
like
have
to talk.
about we have about, I want to say, until 7:32. So let's say about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay.
I'm gonna give you a heads up when
All
we're gonna
right. Cool.
restart.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, no worries.
Right. So it's the indigenous sound of Saint Lucia. And at first when it came around, a lot of people were fighting it because you know when something new comes and it's a change, sometimes people are reluctant to accept it. But eventually it grew, it developed. People like Moto did a very good job of helping the genre build itself. And then you have Black Boy, Chester, Freezy.
Hmm.
I think the Denry segment is something that has done a lot of good things for St. Lucia. People got to know St. Lucia and our carnival and culture through the Denry segment. For me, I'm not what you call a Denry segment artist, but I have jumped on Denry segment beats and brought my own style to it. So in the band is one of the examples. In the band for me, was something that was supposed to be still carnival oriented, but I kind of articulated it differently, not in the generic way. So, and I think to be honest, I think it went over some people's head because I was talking to an older individual and they told me, "Yo, that Badman song you sing there." You know, I didn't really relate to it because it's like a Badman song. And I say, yo, it's not a Badman song. I say, don't play with man. Man, pull up like 10 bad man in the band. And when I said that, it was more of the swagger and the confidence we pulling up in the band with. But it's not like I come in with 10 bad men. And if you listen to the lyrics, it says I pull up with 10 hot gal too. I say
Yeah.
Carnival Day, we there behind the truck. Gal sweet like 10 lollipop. Bumper cocking up. Gal take it up high then drop. Me head bad. Okay. These lyrics talking about the setting of the band on the road. But I think it did go over some people's head, and that's okay. I personally, and I don't even do this all the time. I feel like it's like one of the baddest songs on the rhythm, and I think it
Nah,
was
yo,
it was
brother,
overlooked.
the
Yeah,
flow is incredible, and I
yeah,
think the visuals really coincide with that. How everything was just shot in one
right,
take,
right,
just
right,
that seamless flow, and how
right.
everything, just how the dancers just popped into the shot and
And
just
I came up with that
started
idea too.
doing.
You know,
Bro, no, that
I
concept
came.
was sick.
I came up with that idea and I pitched it to the videographer and I'm like, yo, how can we make this happen? And it literally was a one take shot.
One take, yeah.
Yeah, in one little area. But I think the song was overlooked.
Mm.
I honestly feel like it could have been bigger than what it was. And I felt like at one point it was going to get there. Like around Labor Day time, I felt like it was playing. I was hearing it. Then out of nowhere, Miami come. I didn't hear it once.
Mhm, mhm.
Right? So I was like, what really going on? I didn't understand why that happened.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's crazy to me because it's like I know a lot of people who love the tune.
Mm,
Obviously people will be like, yeah, they listen to the whole rhythm and stuff. But whenever I ask people, I'm like, yo, what songs do you really love? And they're like, yo, we really love Shots and this other one in the band. And everybody says the same thing. The flow, flow
right,
is on.
right, right,
It's something they just haven't really heard before.
right.
So not Shots. I meant to say Man with Ride on the Fuego
Man is
rhythm.
right. Oh
Confuse the
yeah.
two songs. Sometimes it happens with all the tunes now. But yeah, brother, we was talking about indie band, flow and
Right.
everything. Big up to everybody in the chat right now coming back to join us. Remember, this is Let's Talk Soca, the DSA takeover on the Live Love Soca page. We are here with Sedale, one of the baddest artists in general. Amazing soca music coming from him. Amazing stuff. Amazing stories. We're enjoying all the experiences and the sessions and the vibes that you are bringing to us right now, Sedale.
Yeah.
Incredible. So, yeah, so I know Denry segment, right? It's like I think you make a really good point when you said, "Yo, Dennery segment really played a huge role in letting people know what St. Lucia is, right?" And I know visiting back in 2018, that was the first time I ever visited Lucia,
Right.
especially for carnival time, and it was like, bro, I remember just being there, and I'm like, if there was any other place in the Caribbean that I could move to, like to go from New York to the Caribbean, Lucia is actually my first choice, just
Mm.
from the 3 days I spent there. That was all
Lu-
I needed.
Lucia is vibes, dog. Lucia is vibes, and I think more and more people are seeing how great our carnival is, how beautiful the country is. Let me tell you how dread it was this year. Typically, Fed tickets come out maybe closer to Carnival, May. Dog, tickets are coming out in January,
Yeah,
February, and they were selling out. And you had more people without tickets than people who had tickets for events. Because a lot of people were coming to St. Lucia for Carnival. A lot of people looking forward to it. Big up my brother Scrooge there. Big up
yeah.
my
Big up
G.
yourself, Scrooge, representing the VI.
D, big up all illusions on the live, for real, for real. Yeah, but St. Lucia Carnival was, let me tell you, rich people get vexed with me, you know. Because when tickets for the boat ride came out, it literally sold out in 2 minutes. And I was I was shocked myself. So people hitting me up like, yo, how I get no ticket? Da, 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 da. And I was saying, yo, it's not me, it's not my fault. The boat only holds but so many people. And the demand was just so great. A part of me feels like I don't even know if we were fully prepared to handle the influx of people that were coming to St. Lucia this year.
Like everybody I talked to as well, like even when I was at Trinidad Carnival this year, when I spoke to a lot of people, I'm like, yo, you guys have any other carnivals and stuff you're going to? Everybody, bro. Lucia, 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 Lucia. And I think it's a force that has just been building and building and building year after year. And I mean, I saw it firsthand while I was there in 2018, but I feel just even in 2 years, from 2018 to now, the amount of
Right.
people who are just ready to go down to Lucia. And I think a lot of that has to do especially with the music, right? And the volume at which Lucian artists have been putting out music and music that
Hmm.
people really like,
Absolutely.
so it's an incredible experience. How would you describe Lucian Carnival or Lucia Carnival in Lucia compared to the other carnivals and stuff like that? Like, is there certain things that are just very, very distinct to Lucia?
Yeah, I think one of the things that is distinct is our community carnival. So we
Yeah.
have the main carnival, and then we have community carnivals in the other smaller communities. So there's Soufre, there's Dennery, there's even Bellevue, one of my favorite places in St. Lucia, Bellevue, Groseilliers. All these places have their own respective carnivals. And some people would even argue that the community carnivals are better than the national carnival.
Wow. Yeah.
I for one, like Soufre Carnival, that's my carnival there. When I go Soufre Carnival, I just get good. Um, there's also Bellevue Carnival. Now, Bellevue Carnival is a little smaller. And from what I remember, I think it's relatively new too, but real vibes. Over there, there's no pretty mass, it's just people coming out, vibes. And I feel like that's one of our distinct features. I also think that just the vibes, the environment, the energy that St. Lucians have, I think that it's something that you cannot find anywhere else. Everybody have their own way of doing things, and our way, we just have a very carefree way of doing things. You understand? And now the carnival has gotten to a point where it's just fet after fet. From the Monday before, it's just fet right through. And it's something I think our people are now adjusting to, because maybe 10 years ago, Carnival, the week leading up to Carnival, Monday and Tuesday, only had like three major events, three, four major. But now, everything has gone up a notch, and it's why people can't even get tickets. Band selling out. Yo, I never heard that before. Band selling out 4 5 months in advance, dog. It was crazy. It was crazy. And I think, like I said, a part of me feels like I don't even know if we were really prepared to deal with all these people coming. And
Mhm.
the pandemic hit, and you think people want refunds. I mean, some people wanted refunds, but let me tell you, Rich, people more asking me, yo, when your tickets going back on sale? Like people
Wow.
studying,
Yeah.
I want my money back. They just want to secure a spot in a band, in a fete, to ensure that they're good for next year because it's the anticipation has been crazy.
Oh man, that's incredible to hear, man. And yeah, I mean, I love to hear that, man. I've never really quite heard that before about like the community carnivals having so much of vibes. I think like when we think of a carnival, especially, we just think as everybody comes to the one central place
Right,
and they have their vibe, right? But it's really cool to hear that local scenes doing their thing and that the vibes is 100% up, you know. And one of the things that I always hear about why people want to go to Lucia Carnival as well, especially if they've been doing Trinity Carnival for so long, is that, and this comes primarily from like a little bit of like the more mature, maybe a little bit older crowd, is that some of them just feel like carnival in the big carnivals have just become like a little bit too like superficial for their liking, right?
right, right,
And they want like a real authentic experience. And like you said, like a no pretty mass and just to
right.
go and enjoy the vibes, you know? So it's incredible to hear that Lucia offers that, as well as to see the reception of the music and stuff like that. Um, One question I always have for the Lucian artists, right, especially when it comes to Dennery segment, right, is like you have the Dennery segment that appeals to like more of a global audience. But even while I was there, right, and listening to the other type of Dennery segment, which is like almost sung just entirely in Lucian Creole, and it
Right.
still has a different sound. And the only time I would ever hear it was when like I was in a taxi, taxis playing their own music, and I just hearing tunes on rhythms that I didn't even know existed, sung
Right.
entirely in Lucian Creole. Like, do you feel that there is a language barrier that exists that stops the Neri segment from like growing and growing and growing, or do you just think that it's just two separate scenes, two separate vibes, two separate audiences? You know, like what's your take on it?
I've heard that before. Big up my dog Shem, Mike. Yeah, I've heard that before. The language barrier thing, and I don't think that it's as true now as it was before. I feel like the music just has a vibe to it that sometimes you may not even understand exactly what it's saying, but the rhythm, the melodies, it moves you, it makes you want to dance. And I think that what is unique and interesting is people enjoy the music before they understand it, and when they understand the words, they enjoy it even more. So it's almost like a teaching vibe while being entertained. So I think that is distinct.
Yeah.
I don't think it necessarily is a hindrance to the music. Um, but I will say this. I will say that maybe we could balance it a little more,
Mhm.
English and the Creole, just for it to have a wider appeal, especially if you're trying to break into the mainstream music industry. Those people definitely gonna wanna understand exactly what you're saying. But again, you have songs, you have examples of songs where people don't understand and they just vibing with it. Look at Shakira, Waka Waka.
Yeah.
I know what I mean, but the song have a vibe. You understand? Even Alison Hines, Follow My Ding Ding Ding. Ain't
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
what they was saying. You understand? And it's just the vibe of the song though. And I think that Denry segment has its place locally, regionally, internationally. I just think the right people need to hear the music. That's the problem. The
Mhm.
right people don't hear the music. So for us to go mainstream, we need to get people who are in that mainstream network and expose them to the music.
No, definitely, and you make a lot of good points there. I see a lot of people in the chat saying to Jealousy, and you know, I don't understand reggaeton, or I might not understand some other genres or Afrobeat. We don't know what they're saying, but we still love the sounds. We still love the
Right, right.
vibes. You know, same with many other genres. Mademoiselle, big up yourself, saying the same thing. People feel the vibe and still love it. Absolutely, absolutely. Ami guy said, I don't understand what hip hop artists think.
Boy, that is true. They talking English, yeah.
Oh
But
man, that's
true.
too funny. That's too funny. Yeah, and I think we see a lot of really good examples. Like especially we're having balance, right? I think Black Boy is an artist that very well balances a little bit of English, but still has that Lucian Creole, and it's still just it's that flow that I think a lot of people
Black
really.
Boy is a young legend.
Yeah.
And I have Black Boy story. I have a Black Boy story.
Oh, let me hear this one. Let me hear this one.
This is before Black Boy was Black Boy. We have a song called Bounce That Out, right? Black we had made it to the semi-finals of Soca Monarch. So this is his first time. He hasn't even really been performing that much yet. We in rehearsals and I kinda have to guide him as to how to control the band and that kind of thing. So if you know about Black Boy is a free spirit. Black Boy showing up when he wants. Black, Black Boy did what he wants. Black Boy operated on his own time, right? So we had Soca Monarch semis, and I tell Black Boy, let me say I tell Black Boy meet me for 6 o'clock. I see him Black Boy. Call him Black Boy, I get him Black Boy. Eventually I get him and he's like, yo, I don't have a ride. Yo, Black Boy living far. I had the venue already, eh? I had to leave the venue, go quite Babu no to pick up Black Boy. When I reached there, Black Boy get a ride. So I essentially came there for nothing. I'm like, you know what? I even vex. I just want to know Black Boy have a ride and he's gonna make it to the event. So he follow me. We get to the venue, boom, pack. So we walk into the venue. Black Boy tell me, dog, why they have so many cars there? I said, dog, what you mean why they have so many cars? So we get closer to the venue. Black Boy tell me, oi, why they have so many people there? I said, dog, what you mean? That is Soca Monarch semi-finals. Black Boy look at me and Black Boy tell me, boy, I thought we were going to rehearsals. Black Boy now want to turn around and go home because he find like what he wearing not good enough. Because he dressed for rehearsals, he ain't dressed for an actual show. I say, Black Boy, you're a madman, you ain't going back home, dog. We have to perform just now. So we on stage, we performing, and again, understand, Black Boy, he was more or less a rookie in the game them time. So you're not really good on stage yet. When I perform in a Black Boy, all Black Boy doing, Black Boy at the mic, and Black Boy just watching me. And I'm like, I on stage and I watching Black Boy. Then I had to snap out of it. I'm like, dog, watch the crowd. Perform for the crowd. You understand? And we got through to the finals, did the finals, and one thing he always tell me like, yo, I respect you because even when, nobody's really checking for him, I was like advising him on how to do certain things. And from young, I see the boy is a legend already. And I could say that comfortably. Anybody in St. Lucia, you tell them about Black Boy, they tell you Black Boy is a young legend. And I think he's one of the artists flying the Dennery segment flag high, flying the St. Lucian flag high. And he's done a great, great job, just promoting St. Lucian music and putting out quality music.
Yes, absolutely, man. Wow, man. Sedale, like I said, full of incredible stories, man. Big up to everybody in the chat who are fans of Black Boy. Ami Guy, Black Boy is my artist. Unruly, Black Boy is mad.
Man.
Lavinia, big up yourself. Good to see ya. Wow, man. Yeah, a studying of Black Boy, no Keisha, coming from jail.
Black Boy? Black Boy
man.
is it.
He said, move it, sir. Yes, absolutely. Wow, man. No, that's incredible. That's incredible. And that's the thing I find with Dennery's segment too, right? Like, I don't know, maybe because I'm not based in Lucia, so maybe the time when I hear Dennery to when Carnival is might be a little bit different, but a lot of people say Soca is a seasonal thing, right? Do you find that that's the case with Dennery, or is it something that kind of comes out, just whenever or all year round? Like, what's your take kind of like on the seasonality of Soca music coming out from Lucia?
I don't think Soca is seasonal anymore. I think before you could have said that. But there's a carnival happening almost every month. So there's music that fuels that carnival, which is soca music. And then you have places like Toronto where soca playing right through the year. Even New York too, soca plays right through the year. I feel like we have to kind of get out of that stigma where carnival is considered seasonal. From what I understand, in Trinidad, they switch back to dancehall as soon as carnival done. And a lot of people think that's weird, with Trinidad being the mecca of soca. But now more than ever, you see artists like Pretty. You have like Urfran, who putting out his No Seasons project.
Right.
So they recognize, the younger artists recognize that, hey, we're not going to allow this thing to be seasonal. We're going to put on music throughout the year. And I think with Dennery segment definitely is not seasonal. Dennery segment songs dropping throughout the year. So much so they put in links on us soca artists, because prior to that, we were not releasing music throughout the year. But now we see that they are releasing the music and it's working. People are listening to it. It's playing in parties and whatnot. So we have no excuse. We had to put out music throughout the year.
No, absolutely, man. I could see all these soca lovers in the comments right now saying, the baby, she's saying, in my car and house, it plays all through the year.
Yeah, man.
Everybody in here, I love soca. Everybody else in here saying, yes, Lucians will release Dennery segment for every carnival around the world. Oh boy, real soca fans in here.
Yeah, man.
That's amazing to see that. No, absolutely, man. That's an amazing thing to hear, man. So is there like a clear definition between soca and soca artists and Dennery segment artists, or is the line a little blurred, or does it kind of vary from artist to artist?
That's a good question. I think now they do classify us as one set of individuals being soca artists and the others being Dennery segment artists. Even this year, I think they were actually going to do a Dennery segment monarch rather than have the Dennery segment artists in the regular soca monarch. And it's because the Dennery segment music, it's hard to judge them by the same standards as the soca music, because it's different, there's a different vibe. So I remember the Prime Minister saying that he wanted to give them their own competition. So the distinction is definitely made between the two genres. Hey, big up Subans in the chat there.
I was just about to say, Subans, big up yourself. Another amazing artist out of Lucia. You might know him from Two Touch to Clap.
Yeah, let me tell you, Subans is a man that quiet, but when the boss reach on the stage,
I see people doing backflips and thing, dog.
Yes, yeah. You said about the teach me how to do a backflip.
Yeah. I remember going Try Big Night 2018, right? In Lucia. And I'm there and I see Mighty and Subans and them come on stage, man, doing flips off the stage and landing at the little pit on the ground and everything, off speakers and everything. What? Subans, big up yourself, bro.
Yeah,
yeah, no. And see that's the amazing thing I see about Lucian artists, right? I know you were saying earlier, like in the beginning, like, yeah, when you're starting out, it's tough to reach a Lucian audience. It's a tough crowd. But one thing that I noticed, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this as well, especially when you were coming up and stuff like that, the unity I find between Lucian artists and that sense of togetherness and, yo, I'm a Lucian artist, you're a Lucian artist, we building this thing. I find that energy and that vibe is very much there. That support, At least that's what I get from the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
But what was it like for you? Did you have like a lot of support? Was there a lot of friendship and the collaboration and stuff between you and other Lucian artists? Did you kind of have to make a name for yourself first before other artists would be like, yo, all right, let me do this thing and stuff?
Right. All right. So when I started, I felt like there was a lot of division in the industry. Mm-hmm. And you could tell artists were not collaborating with each other. Everybody was more or less on their own scene. Now, I can safely say a lot of the artists are genuine friends with each other. So not only are we peers, we are good friends. And I don't even feel like it's oh, you ain't make your name yet, so you can't do a song with me. We cool. I understand you have talent. Okay, let me do a song. Even somebody like Shemi J, when I was introduced to Shemi in 2015, nobody knew Shemi, but me and him clicked from the beginning. And he used to ride around with me everywhere. I used to teach him about, the game, the soca industry. And this is before he's any big artist or whatnot. And I feel like now the camaraderie between us, people like, we have a group where we talking probably show all day. It's not just about music. Or people like Hollywood HP, My Brethren for Life, Michael Robinson, Arthur, Rashad. Look at people like Army Guy, Mighty Servants, Pa, Kuya, all of us cool with each other. They have no animosity when we see each other. Matter of fact, we were on radio on Tuesday, all of us. Because Tuesday past would have been Carnival Tuesday in St. Lucia. So this radio show had all the artists come through. And we on radio a good 2-3 hours just singing songs, singing each other's songs too. You understand? So that's the kind of love that we have for each other. And I think that's amazing, because music can be a competitive thing. And sometimes, it's easy to be envious of somebody because you might think that they're doing better than you or whatnot. And I don't see that. If it's there, I don't see it. When I come around all the artists, it's love.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and that's 100% the vibe that I got when I visited, and just if I'm hanging out backstage, just seeing how all the Lucian artists just there, chilling, having drinks, doing everything. Even speaking Creole, just the whole thing, and it's a really really good vibe and energy to see. I know you spoke about Black Boy as a young legend. Is there any specific advice that you would want to give to any up and coming soca artists? That could be from any island, any genre, especially those young artists that are up and coming in Lucia right now as well.
Right. Oh, big up the V8 boys in the place there. Another group of artists from St. Lucia doing amazing
Big up
work.
yourself, big up yourself.
Yeah, man. Advice. First of all, you need to have love for what you do. Don't get into this music game if you're in it for fame and popularity or even money. Because there's so many hurdles you have to go through that if you're doing it for these reasons, the minute you meet a challenge, you'll be ready to give up. It's very difficult to make it in the industry. So you have to have the love for it. You have to have patience because everything doesn't happen overnight. When people first heard about me, I was already singing for about 7 years, right? So that goes to show you how much I was hustling before you even heard my name. You have to be strong. You have to have a strong mind because you will meet people who will deter you from doing what you want to do. They'll tell you, oh, you're not good enough, or your song not good, and that could derail you. And I think that you have to definitely be mentally strong. And I think you have to love the people too. You have to show gratitude to the people who make you who you are. Because without the people and the support of the people, we would be nowhere. And I think that the young artists, at least the ones that I deal with, I feel like I'm the middle child now. I'm not a rookie anymore, but I ain't old head yet. I in the middle. So I kind of deal with everybody. You understand? And I think that the younger artists that I deal with, it's so amazing how so much more focused they are and how much further they are in their careers than when we were at that age. They have such great and vast knowledge of music, different aspects of music, writing, recording, mixing their own songs, even doing their own videos. So I see a lot of the younger artists doing their thing, and that in turn inspires me. One artist that comes to mind is Rashad. I did stick on you, Rashad. He played the sax, and then the following year we actually did a song together where he's singing. And Rashad is one of the young artists I'm so impressed with. When I met him, his work ethic is what stood out to me the most. Because for me, I don't ever consider myself the most talented, but I consider myself a very hard worker. That's what I think my talent is. And when I met him, this kid in the studio, whole night, daybreak, we in the studio, and that's the kind of vibe I like. I like creating at night, and I like staying up just doing music. And here is a young kid who understands that, yo, I need to stay up, I need to do music, I need to be dedicated to the craft. And I think he's an amazing artist. He's one of the most talented artists I've ever, met and worked with. And I feel like Shemi J too, very hard worker. And that's one thing I like to take a little credit for his success, because we've had multiple conversations over the last 5 years that we've known each other, and I always tell him about working hard. And I remember one time we were working on a rhythm, and he was like the last person to get the rhythm, and he wrote the song. He wrote his song in no time because he understood that, hey, I have to meet this deadline. Other artists have already recorded their songs, and I'm trying to catch up. And then he ran with it every day. Just today, we came from the gym and he is singing a song for me. And he's like, yo, what do you think about that? So he's constantly working. And I appreciate that. I appreciate artists who work hard. And to all the up-and-coming artists, even the established artists, they have to remember to work hard and have that hunger.
Absolutely, man. Very, very well said. Well said. No, I think a lot of people will totally appreciate that. For you especially, because you brought up so much in the advice, and it sounds like you've been through so many different experiences and so many different hurdles. For you, what was one of your biggest challenges or hurdles that you faced when you were coming up in your artistry in general?
I think one of the challenges was being accepted by my own people.
Mm-hmm.
And as simple as it may sound, it's not. And I'll tell you one of the things that worked against me. I was born and raised in St. Lucia, lived St. Lucia my whole life. When I started singing, I was in the States. I was in New York going to school and working in New York. So this narrative started going around that I am a New York artist. So for people on the ground in St. Lucia, the perception is, oh, he's a foreigner, which was crazy to me because I was born and raised in St. Lucia. But again, when the masses were introduced to me, I was based in the States. So for some reason, I felt like that narrative was working against me because people didn't really view me as one of theirs. Those who knew me, they knew that, okay, I from Lucia, you understand? But the others who didn't, they kind of looked at me and they were like, I don't know yet. And it took years of putting music out, interviews, performances, and just getting the people more acquainted with me before I felt like, okay, boom, they've accepted me. You understand? That was the beginning. I'll tell you what my biggest challenge is right now. And we've been real insane. We've been real on the Instagram there. My biggest challenge right now is getting that breakout regional and international hit song. So a lot of people they have a lot of success in their respective islands. Like for instance, you go to Grenada, you know about Boise, you know about Terra, Slaughter, and I believe like even I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like Boise in Grenada, like from what I understand, like Boise is king in Grenada. Like when you go Grenada and you say Boise, like it's big respect. You understand? He's the demand on the ground. But some may argue that he hasn't gotten that international hit yet where everybody knows him. And I feel like that's the position I'm in right now. You understand? So that's what I'm working towards to get that bus as they say. And I feel like it can be disheartening because I go be real, like in the band, I felt like in the band was trending in that direction, and I wasn't being complacent. I was doing dub plates and things for DJs and bands and whatnot just to get the song in rotation more. And I felt like Labor Day, I was hearing it, and then boom, it just slowly started, going down to the point where Miami Carnival came around. I didn't hear it once. So I was like, yeah, it's disappointing because I work hard, brother. I work hard at what I do. And I always tell people the minute I make it, I feel like I deserve it because I know how much work I put in. I know how much sacrifice I put into what I do. I see just said it took Teddy 8 to 9 years before you bust regionally. That is true. That is true. It took Teddy. That's a good example. It took Teddy a while. And here's the thing, when Teddy finally bust, us in St. Lucia, we were saying, but wait, Teddy had better songs than Ale, you know. Like Teddy have Land of Wine, Teddy have Baka, and Teddy, for us, we were happy for Teddy because nobody else had really bust big out of St. Lucia since Ricky T. And I was like probably 2007, 8, around that time. So we were generally happy for Teddy. But for us, we were like, yo, we know Teddy have better songs than National, but go through still, my boy. You understand? So for me, that's where I'm at right now. And then you know what does be frustrating, a tad frustrating for me? People go come up to you and they'll be like, boy, I feel like you should have been further than where you are right now, you know. You understand? And in a sense, it's a compliment because it shows you that people have this perception of you. They feel like you should be there. But when you hear it over and over, like, wow, I feel you're not as big as you're supposed to be. Sometimes it does mess with my head a little bit. But again, I just refocus. I focus on the music itself, and I try to block out all the outside noise and just do what I love. And what God have there for me, it'll go manifest.
That's incredible, Sedale. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I think you bring up so many important points, and just seeing the love right now in the comments, all the fans, all the love that you get, and everybody supporting you and they understand you. And I think that is something that a lot of artists and a lot of people can relate to. But definitely, man, I trust me. I know that push and that drive is there, and I hear it all the time in the quality of the tunes you put out. You know, from when I first listened, even when I go back to past tunes that I didn't particularly know. You know, that vibe, that energy, and that everything is always there. So I'm sure that time will come. You know, it will be Sedale, submit to the world.
Scrooge, big up my brother. Big up.
Yes,
Scrooge.
big up yourself, Scrooge.
What are we talking about? Real thing.
Absolutely. So before we bring things a little bit to a close here, where do you see, this is a general question we always ask, where do you see soca music going in maybe like the next 5 years? And more importantly, where do you see Sedale going in like maybe the next 5 years or so?
Okay. Soca music, I expect it to be more widely known. I expect to see soca music in more mainstream shows that we watch, Netflix, HBO. You'll be surprised we watching some kind of Game of Thrones spin-off and a soca play. Something, but I expect us to have a better presence in the mainstream music industry. For me personally, I feel like I want to be internationally known. I want to reshape the way people think of an artist. For me as an artist, I take this as a responsibility. I don't think being an artist is just about entertainment. I feel like being an artist, I am a vessel. I inspire, I motivate, I inform. I think my father used to tell me all the time that my father is an old calypso head. That's where I get my love of music from. My father used to tell me back then when not everybody could get a newspaper or news didn't travel as fast. A lot of information used to be spread through music. So if there's something going on in society, you hear it through music. And that goes to show you how influential an artist is. I'll give you another example. Sizzler, when he did that Black Woman and Child album, in that album was so profound. The message in it was about black love, um, being more Afrocentric, more conscious, and the crime rate in Jamaica went down because that was the vibe he put out into the atmosphere. So that goes to show you how powerful music is. And I feel like, in a sense, musicians and artists are even more important than a politician, for instance. You understand? Because we could influence thinking, we could influence people's actions just by what we sing. So for me, this is not just something I take lightly. I don't say, yeah boy, man, an artist, and I feel like I just there to make you whine and entertain you. It goes beyond that. You understand? When things get rough, look at the pandemic. Things got rough. We could not do what we normally do, like party and whatnot, but we could provide hope. You understand? We could give you something to look forward to help you through your day. I think Lyrical, when he did his live, I felt like the timing of that live was so important. For me, I don't know if other people see it this way. I'm a big Lyro fan. For me, when he did that live and the energy around the live and what that live meant to people at the time, I felt like that live secured his legacy for me as an artist, because I didn't view it as just him coming online to entertain us. I felt like he was coming online to help us through what was going on in the world at that time. So for me, his legacy is secured. That's how I view it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that it's important for artists to understand the power that they have. You understand? I feel like we as musicians, we have such a power that sometimes we don't even know. And for me, I try to be conscious of that. And when I put music out, and even how I carry myself too, because people don't just judge the music, they judge the artist as well. So I try to watch how I carry myself, because I always know people are watching. And if you are not living up to a particular standard, in a sense, you're doing a disservice to the public. I'm a public servant, put it like that. That's what I think. And I try to do different things through music. So I have a school tour that I do, where I go into schools and I talk about the creative industry. And I feel that's important because typically in the Caribbean, we always teach our children to be lawyers, doctors, teachers, the conventional stuff. And I thought that we needed to let the children understand that, hey, you could be a musician. Look at Rihanna. Rihanna is a multi-millionaire off of music. You understand? We're not saying that being a doctor or a fireman, a police officer is bad. But we also want to let you know being a musician isn't bad too. And it's a viable career that you could take on and live comfortably. And I think it's important for us to share these messages with our youth. I'm very big on that, very big on the youth. And I think for me, I want to explore different aspects of the music and the music industry, whether it be a record label management, doing events, even apparel, development of artists. I think all these things are important in our industry that we lacking in a sense. So I want to do all these things. I see myself as not just an artist but a brand. You understand? And my brand, whether if I decide to take it in the direction, let's say I want to do sneakers tomorrow, I could do that. And I look at the mainstream artists like look at Jay-Z. Look at what he's doing with his brand. Look at how he's become a billionaire, where he started in music, where he branched out into different ventures. So that's how I see myself. And I feel like soca music is going to get to the point where it's on the level of the mainstream music that we had, the hip hop and whatnot. And it slowly is happening. You have people like Sway Lee, who admitted that one of the songs I can't Unforgettable, right?
Yeah.
Unforgettable is influenced by soca music. So imagine these big artists are listening to us and they're running with some of our technique and our style. So that just goes to show you, I think soca could definitely get there. Yeah, man.
Well said, bro. Well said. Wow, there's so many amazing points you brought up there. And yeah, one of my, to echo what you said, one of my favorite quotes um, from Kes was that, you know, artists are a vessel and you have to let the blessings flow through you,
Through
right?
you. Right.
And I
Right.
think that's such an important thing. Like even in a lot of interviews that I hear with Marshall saying that he himself feels like he doesn't actually create the music, that it's always been there and it's just flowing through him, you
Right.
know? And
Right.
to echo a lot of the things that you said, you know, a lot of the music that you feel just came to you, you know, from through God,
Through
and that
God.
it's
Yep.
just there,
Yep.
you know, like you don't know where it came from, but it flowed through you, and
Yeah.
it was meant to be. So I totally feel you on that, man. I appreciate all the gems that you just dropped. Sedale, before we end things, brother, where can we find you? Tell us what the social media, the everything. Where can we find you? And tell us where we can stream and buy your latest release.
Right. So you can find me on Instagram, Sedale_DTS. I'm on Facebook as well, Sedale Simei or Sedale_DTS as well for my artist page. On Twitter, Sedale Music. Although them days I ain't tweeting as much, you know. I just start back tweeting. As far as my latest release, Celebrate, you could stream it on YouTube, SoundCloud. It's on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, TikTok, all major streaming platforms. You could also find my catalog of music on those same platforms as well. I want to big up everybody in the live who, you know, stay for the whole thing. Ami Guy, big up yourself. Ami Guy is one of the artists in St. Lucia that is very, very supportive. You look at Ami Guy Instagram page, he always sharing somebody music or one of their ventures. So big up Ami Guy, big up DICU. Mix jumped in the live a while ago. Big up Mix Vibes Productions. I want to big up all the Lucian artists. Big up everybody who supports the vibe. Big up all the artists and the DJs, because I know we're going through it right now with the whole pandemic thing slow. But there's the light at the end of the tunnel. Don't stress too much. And Rich, Live Love Soca, thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it. And I really enjoyed having this conversation. I didn't feel like it was an interview. We had a conversation.
Conversation,
Come
absolutely, brother.
on.
Yes. No, anytime we link, bro, it's always vibes.
You coming Lucia next year, dog?
Well, if it's open, I in there. You know that?
Yeah. Chill, you too. You gotta come.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
If it open, we in there, we link in, we going everywhere. It's gonna be a vibe for sure. Sedale, every time we link, it's always the most vibes. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to join us, for dropping all those gems, hearing all these stories. To everybody in the chat, thank you again for always tuning in every week to the interviews and the conversations. We always love to see and hear your support. To all these Sedale fans, you have plenty to expect. So
Yeah,
they're
man.
excited. I'm excited. And Sedale, it was amazing vibes. Take care of yourself. Excited to see what the future holds for you, brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Once again, thank you to everybody in the chat showing love. Big up everybody from St. Lucia, West Indies, everybody watching overseas in America, Canada, around the world. Big up, look out for more music from Sedale coming soon. And I hope you all take in what we have released so far. Remember, Tidal, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, everything up there. Go stream it. Support the artists.
Absolutely. Support the artists. All right. On that note, we say big up and bless. Much love, everybody. Sedale will be in touch, brother. I'll talk to you soon. All right.
Respect.
All right. Take care.
Yes, I.